What is again, y'all? Wait one damn second.
Too late. We already live. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, which means that it's time for the unlimited truth. Because you know the limited truth, it always comes in the middle of the week after truth happens, after something goes down, and the truth is needed. And after a small little break, it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back hanging out with the unlimited family, the exiled family, and before we get started and have just a fun time tonight, folks. Let's introduce the panel. So, first and foremost, we got Daya 4568. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Dia 4568. Back on from vacation. That's why you guys haven't seen me for about a week.
Mhm.
I just recently came back. I'm rested. I've gotten the ponies out of my system, my anger out of my system, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to defend Xbox. I'm ready to defend whatever studios like Arcane or Obsidian, and I am so ready for the games to come. Let's just push forward and let's just look towards the future because a lot of good things are coming to Xbox and its gamers.
Excellent stuff. And next up, Others Inc., my friend. Introduce yourself.
I represent the chat. Jay out here, Jay Dizzle, Jeremy Brown, Smitty Smith, the creator of the First Lady of Chat, and hashtag the Book of X out here. I'm always good, man. Experiencing Redfall and fantastic game. I just hope
Absolutely.
Mhm.
people experience things for themselves and
Hmm.
stop listening to people with these 9090s and 3090s and 4090s and have to download drivers all day to get the damn game to work.
Yes. And last but not least, Tuck Master, my friend. Introduce yourself.
Everybody, this your boy DJ Tuckmaster, original motherfucking pony killer. I don't like ponies, so let's get this shoulder rolling.
Awesome stuff. So, all right, we're going to start with the obvious big news of this week. The European Union approves the Activision Blizzard deal, and listen, to for many of us, it probably is no surprise. But what's so great about this, y'all, is that when the UK regulators blocked it in their country, when they're in the UK, a lot of people who don't know anything, who has no knowledge of anything, they thought that this was it. They thought that the deal was over, it was done, and they thought that they're going to be able to move on. Claiming that it was a failure. They were celebrating the Xbox and everything in between, right? And and like I tried to say weeks ago, there was listen, they're regulators, and people think that regulators are the equivalent of the U.S. president vetoing bills or something. No, they don't got power like that. And as we see, the European Union, which let's not forget here, the European Union, the UK hasn't been a part of the European Union in a little while thanks to the Brexit movement. And not only that, the EU is for a lot of European countries, some of which like Germany are richer, have a much higher GDP in the UK, and are far more business friendly than them. So they were never going to turn down the deal. But it's just so hilarious, right? That just to see that once again they were all proven wrong, and they're all proven wrong, and now they're trying to, I guess, move their frustrations elsewhere. But so I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna start with you, Tuck, since your dogs are restless right now. Bark in the background. So, Tuck Master, man, what are your thoughts on the European using approving the Activision Blizzard deal?
Well, for number one, I know right now, the CMA is taking a lot of heat right now. They taking a lot of heat right now, and that's not even part of the government. The government is getting tired of them because of what's going on. I mean, they want this thing to pass too. Just not, it just wasn't, the CMA made a decision, and I'm going to still always say on this, and I'm going to always say it. They made this decision because of Sony. It's not because of no dog. It's not because of no cloud
Hmm.
game. They doing everything to protect Sony, as far as I'm concerned. Um, because I know they in cahoots with Sony and all that stuff. But I think all this right here got everything to do with just because the people they wanted to pass. There's no reason for why there was no reason for this shit not have passed there too. There's no reason. So to me, I'm hoping that if they, I know they're appealing it, and if they lose the appeal and Microsoft get the ATC or the FTC, whatever their name is, to be done with it, and if they don't want to go along with it, that's tough on them. But that's really all I got to say about that. I'm glad to see Microsoft did get the regulators to take their side. I was glad of that because we know and everybody else knows if the EU would have went the opposite way, oh my God, Microsoft would have took a big hit off that. So I'm proud for the EU to do what they did. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, and to add some context to what Tuck was saying before I move on to the rest of the panel. So to add to what you're saying, Tuck, let's not forget a couple things here. Listen, since everybody else is clearly approving it, the U.S. is going to approve it. The EU approved it. Fucking Russia approved it. China approved it. All right, the Saudi Arabia approved it. Japan approved it. Brazil, as others they called them, the world's most powerful government, Brazil approved it. Right. So since every other government on the planet or regulator or whoever on the planet is okay with it, since all these other tech companies are okay with it except for Sony, that just tells me one thing, Tuck. Everything's going to line up perfectly fine. And listen, at worst, who's going to suffer are Xbox gamers in the UK, like Elite Gaming Guru, because there's an example right now of a company that was rejected in the UK and their service is not available over there. You know what that is? HBO Max. That's right, folks. HBO Max, the third largest entertainment streaming service, is not available in the UK. Still amass some like 96 million subscribers. But I'm gonna move on to Daya 4568. I want to get your thoughts next. So we see the big news this week. The European Union approved the Activision Blizzard deal, and now the same people who were running a victory lap, Daya, are now coming back to Earth, falling back to Earth, skyrocketing back to Earth, however you want to put it, faster than a shooting star in space, faster than a meteorite. Hell, the meteorites that killed the dinosaurs, Daya, wasn't this impactful. Right? So I just want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on once again the gaming community being wrong, Microsoft being right, doing business as usual was clearly the right move for them?
Well, I did do a few posts in some obscure channels that I follow that talk about Xbox, and I said that look, I said I think the EU is going to pass it for this reason. The EU is not; they see an opportunity here. The CMA have made Microsoft upset. Okay. Not that they kowtow to a large company, but understand this, that they've had a 40-year relationship with Microsoft. Microsoft does a lot of business over there, a lot. Okay. When Microsoft wants something in return, because they haven't asked for a lot from over there, from what I understand, I haven't seen it. And if anybody else know, please put it in there for me to read. But this is the one thing that we've seen them make big moves on. You don't usually see Microsoft do these type of large moves all the time. And having I think Microsoft believed they had a good relationship with the UK. For them to try to bend over backward, they can't give anything else. I'm going to tell you now, guys, they cannot give anything else. Only thing that would satisfy the CMA is to diverge themselves of Activision, probably. And that's not going to happen. They said that's not going to happen. So what I think is going to happen, well, what I said was going to happen was that the EU, they're smart. They're in competition with the UK. And they're like, you know what? This is an opportunity for us to get in good with Microsoft. This is a good, because at the end of the day, this is just gaming, right? But it opens the door to other tech because Microsoft represents more than just gaming. Okay. Bingo. And I would say this, in the tech industry, if Microsoft says something about what is going on in the tech industry, you better to listen to it, because they know exactly what's going on in there and who's saying what. They're practically the tech industry.
Yep.
Them, Google, Amazon, like those big players, they know. So when Microsoft said, we're thinking twice about doing business in the UK, that was not only for the UK, but it was for the EU. And I think they got the message and they passed it. It was, and Microsoft gladly gave the concession. They don't care, cloud is in its infancy. So there was no reason, and Microsoft, it falls into what they're doing anyway. I know sometimes we get upset. I don't personally, but I think sometimes, well, a little bit. I think sometimes we get upset that we see games going everywhere, but Microsoft wants to do that. They got to get these people to fund them so they can give us some more IP, some more, in some cases, yes, exclusives. But in other cases, they're going to expand the services and everything. I'd rather have a pony cough up $70 a game if that's what they want to do in order to fund Microsoft as they have been funding Activision Blizzard King, basically.
Mhm.
And I'd rather that money come to Microsoft so they can reinvest. So I don't see that as a negative. Okay. And if they paying for it, okay, so be it. They're paying for it. But the future of gaming is going to go everywhere. I'm going to just let you guys know that it will be that way. And Microsoft is at the forefront of that. They understand you can't just stay in the console market. And that's true about any market. You can't just stay in the PC or whatever. You have to spread out, So this is what I saw with that. And I'll add one thing. How many more countries have to pass this deal? Do you guys know?
Actually, China hasn't signed yet.
Mhm.
New Zealand has to go
Okay.
also.
Australia, have they went yet?
Australia has to go. They're irrelevant as shit. China is irrelevant as shit.
Okay.
Mhm.
We don't give a shit what a communist country has to say.
Right.
So we just playing along. We're just playing along right now because they really can't do anything, any of
Yeah.
them. These are two American corporations that are doing business with one another. If
Mhm.
you don't want us to operate in your jurisdiction, then so be it.
Yeah, the reason why I
Yes.
asked that because I'm sorry, let me finish this one point real quick. The reason why I asked that was because I find it interesting that these other countries just haven't made a decision. It's almost as if they was watching the UK and the EU make a decision. And what I find interesting is who's going to fall on what side now that they've split. Are they going to
Mhm.
follow the UK or are they going to follow the EU? I just find that fascinating to see who's going to pick what. But I think at the end of the day, the EU is a bigger fish, and I
Oh, way
think that
bigger.
most of them are going to
Mhm.
follow after them.
Here,
Okay,
one
I'm
second
done.
before you go unlimited, I wanted to say this last thing. Japan approving with
Hmm.
no restrictions
Yeah,
was bigger than anything
Yes.
because that's Sony's hometown. Okay, may have moved PlayStation to California, but the money that they make, they're sending back home to little league teams and schools over there in Japan to better them. Okay,
Hmm.
and if Japan approved it, but see, Japan knows when a few of those senators fired shots at Japan, it's like, hey, bro, is this how you guys operate over there? Y'all want to play that game? Because you got Toyota, Mazda, all these Japanese cars over here. You still want to play like that, bro? You in NASCAR too? Is that what you want to do now? They was like, we were just playing and approve that shit next week. Go ahead, Unlimited.
Well, yeah, and Dea, give me a second before you continue. Yeah, but the thing, and to add to that, and as Dea was wondering, what side they're going to pick. Well, the European Union is again the union of pretty much all the Western European countries that aren't, say, affiliated with Russia in some form, at least politically, right? With the exception of the UK, including Germany. And Germany got one of the largest GDPs on the planet,
they do. Yeah,
So and so that's why I use them specifically because I believe they got the largest GDP in all of Europe, Germany, right?
yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Maybe.
And so since they approved it, and since the European Union not only approved it but fought back towards the UK, saying, "Okay, guys, could there be yes?" That tells me all I need to know there. And really, a lot of this stuff is just let's be real, Zinc, Daya, Iraq and Tuck. We're just waiting until what the U.S. does, because they're the final. Their ruling is going to be the final judgment on all this, and they're going to pass it. All right, listen. Trump was trying to block. I think it was the what was Trump trying to block, and it passed anyway. Was it the Sprint and AT&T merger? There's another merger that happened a few years ago when Trump was president. He said he was going to block it. And that went through. And Republican, and whenever Republicans are in power, that's the country tends to be more business friendly. That went fucking through. So this is
right.
So I just wanted to add that, man. I just wanted to add that context there. So Dea, continue.
Oh yeah, that was pretty much everything I wanted to say, because I find it interesting that the other smaller jurisdictions haven't made a decision yet. I know why the UK hasn't done it. They've been looking for some reason to be able to block it, and when they lost the console angle, that really stifled them, and that's why they had to go with the cloud. But with the EU, I really believe, based on their answer, that they really thought everything through. And
hey, Dia, did you get a chance to hear Parliament?
Oh, yes, I did. Some of it.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, because right in that, you could tell that they were colluding with Iraq's friend Lena Khan, and they're not supposed to do that. But she told on herself. Yeah,
they got caught. I mean, that guy who was asking the questions is brilliant, because he was able to get it out of her, even though she was trying her best not to answer those questions. Excuse me, those questions. Yeah. So yes, they were colluding, and I think Lena Khan did that because she understood she doesn't have a case here, and she has to follow law in America.
Yep.
But over there, the CMA, that is absolute, because the appeal doesn't mean anything. Look, Microsoft is going through the motions. They're buying time so that the government can reverse this. They know good and well appealing it, only to have it come back to the CMA is a waste of time. Okay, they're trying to wait long enough. They're trying to keep the deal alive long enough for the government to make its decision on what it's going to do. I tell you, I think that was a soft threat to both the UK and the EU when they was talking about, well, the tech industry is a little apprehensive. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that I think Microsoft is darn serious about that. You messing with their money, okay, and a lot of it, okay. They're a company at the end of the day. So if you're not going to play friendly with them, you darn right they'll issue an idle threat. And yes, they'll follow through on that. Do I believe they'll follow through? Yes, I do.
Of 100%.
Yeah.
And you know that Yoda looking Satya Nadella when they said they asked him a question. Oh, would you not operate over there? He's like, hey, bro, they had a year and a half. We just gonna let it play out until their time is up. That's really what he said.
Whenever Nadella, see my favorite. Whenever you see Nadella, he's gonna say something dope when he sits back and crosses his legs.
Yes.
You know he's about to say some G shit, man.
And that's just what he did.
Yeah, exactly, Tuck. But before we get to Iraq, let me shout out the chat real quick. Jeremy Brown, Jay Dizzle, Smitty Smith, Ice Zero, Cray Simmons, Goggle Poe, Vodka, and JJ. Anyone else I'm missing? Thank you guys for joining. Keep up going fire in the chat. Before I move on to Dea, anything else you want to add? I felt like I hope I didn't cut you off.
No, I've said everything. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take up so much time. I just had a lot to say on that subject.
Man, that's all right. We want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it all. But so let me go on to Iraq, the artist formerly known as Iraq, right? Iraq X, man. So but Iraq, before I bring you up to speed, I have to put this on screen because this is hilarious. So look at this. 12 days ago, look at this. Does Xbox need to fire Phil Spencer? Unlimited
is awesome, dude.
From your boy Dreamcast guy. 12 days ago. Then when the EU deal went through Iraq, and Iraq's the one who brought this to my attention, Xbox just won the deal to buy Activision. How?
Wow, I missed a lot.
Oh man. Well, yeah. See, because everybody had the fake outrage when Redfall came out, and so for some reason he thought I don't know what it is, E-Rock, where these guys think that they have this power to stop Phil Spencer, the guy who's literally the CEO, right? The CEO of Xbox over at Microsoft. And then not only that, E-Rock, and this was another thing you put me on game. I was wrong about Zelda. Of course he's going to praise the game, even though the Nintendo game. But E-Rock, I just want to bring that to your attention because you're the one who brought it to me first. And then when I saw his channel, I was like, oh my God, this E-Rock, he was really literally saying fire Phil Spencer a week ago. now he's stunned that Microsoft actually knows how to run business. But let me get your thoughts on this, man.
Keep in mind that my YouTube channel was shut down, but this fucking model for acne cream, he's still going strong. He's still out there just having a good old time. Hey man, I love it. You seen that nigga face? God damn.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, goddamn. He make Edward James almost look like he got good skin. Like,
You got moon critters in his face.
I love, I love it, man. I just, with every day, with every week, these guys just show how wrong they continually are and how out of touch and what a weird, strange bubble that they live in. They spent an entire year hoping, wishing, praying that this Activision Blizzard merger didn't go through. Instead of hoping and wishing and praying for world peace, the end of homelessness, the end of black in their community. This was Dreamcast guy and everybody's focus. Stopping a merger of a multi-trillion-dollar company to buy another several billion or $1 trillion company, whatever the hell it is. Who knows? Like you're not going to stop these mergers. You're not going to stop these mergers. We've discussed this before in great detail on other podcasts, and this was inevitable. This was inevitable. I don't know what the CMA's end game was. I don't know what the EU regulators' end game was. I don't know what their plan was, but Smitty Smith said Dreamcast guys needs spackle to fill in the holes on his face.
Hey, dude, when I'm driving and I'm listening to a show, I'll make sure the chat is clear of Rain G4's ass and Smitty Smith, because they could say some shit that'll make your eyes water. You can't see shit temporarily, dude. This shit funny as hell.
I mean, did you see the guy, his face? I don't know what these faces are that he puts on, whether it's all an act or whether he was legitimately shocked at the deal. The Activision deal went through. How? It's called business. And what makes you think that any of these small YouTubers or so-called big YouTubers, that y'all know anything about anything? Mm-hmm. But at 54, I've been around long enough to know that these big mergers usually aren't stopped. Me and Unlimited Production and myself have said that every major merger that we saw over the last 5 or 6 years, they went through. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing, to all you Xbox haters out there, and I know you're somewhere out there listening, like that old fucking 100%. Song by the Moody Blues. I know you're out there somewhere. I know you guys out there somewhere listening. Do you see what a unbelievable waste of time this was? What an unbelievable, how much time you wasted just praying and Colin Moriarty seething and now they're coping. And it's just ridiculous. But anyway, this affected me in no way. I really didn't care either way, but I'm glad that the deal is going through, because now we know that Call of Duty will be coming to Game Pass in some future form. I don't really even care about Call of Duty. I do care about Crash Bandicoot and those other intellectual properties. Mm-hmm. Again, nobody on this podcast has any stock at Microsoft or Xbox. Nobody really has any skin in this game. We just game and we enjoy good games. And this is a deal that is good for gamers. And everyone has been given Nintendo, Sony, everybody's been given 10-year deals. And it is what it is. It's done. It's done. So, they'll probably, I'm sure 4 days ago, whenever this was announced, Unlimited Production and Dia and Tuck and Others Inc., they all went into their emergency podcast, and because they always got an emergency podcast for everything. They're like superheroes. Oh my God, the deal went through to the Batcave. I'm sure they all had their emergency podcast and talked about, it's the end of the game and Microsoft is running a monopoly. Like, guys, it is what it is, man. Just move on. But anyway, man, I'm glad all of this nonsense is over, and now that we can move on to all the great things that we have to look forward to as Xbox gamers, like the Xbox showing next month. I believe June is next month, and then Xbox showing is coming. All the great games we got coming to the platform and the Game Pass. I'm looking forward to Starfield, and Xbox got games coming that we don't even know about, man. That everybody should be celebrating. Like I've seen everybody. Unlimited Production showed me this article, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead too soon.
No.
About what the hell is his damn name? Our favorite guy, Ryan McCaffrey.
Oh yeah.
Who always knows what Xbox gamers want, who always knows what I want, saying, man, I'd sure love for there to be a time when Xbox gamers can celebrate a game of the year like they're celebrating over there at Nintendo with Zelda. And I'm like, again, you did this before. You don't speak for me. You don't speak for me. You tried to speak for me 5 years ago with God of War, and I'm like, you don't speak for me. I'm almost sure Ryan McCaffrey hasn't played Ravenlock. I'm almost sure the next month, also coming to Game Pass, he won't play this game called Dorgon. I didn't even know the fuck about this game. Like, Xbox always got shit dropping in Game Pass. Yeah. It's this game about this little French girl trying to remember about her grandmother, and it looks like it was done in watercolor or some shit. And I think it's only on Game Pass or Game Pass PC, but there's plenty of games out here that are far superior to Zelda. I don't want to get off topic, but this journalistic.
Dude, I think Zelda is garbage.
Well, I mean, because I'm sure Unlimited probably wants to talk about it later. I don't want to get I don't want to fuck up his format, but this is what these guys do, man. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't care anymore. If it's some Jap crap or some damn or a remake of some shit they already played, they love it. Yeah. If it's something new or something different or anything from Xbox, it's got problems, it's got issues, they don't like it. And now really they don't like any third-party game that isn't from the Japanese or not from PlayStation or Nintendo, because remember, they hated on Gotham Knights. Mm-hmm. Some of them even tried to hate on Hogwarts Legacy, as ridiculous as that was. But anyway, man, getting back to the whole EU thing and the Activision Blizzard deal going through, hey, man, I'm glad it was inevitable. Matter of fact, Unlimited Production, and I said it was inevitable. Like last year when this deal was announced, it was inevitable that it was going to go through. A $1 billion company board of directors all voted unanimously that they were going to sell, and wasn't nothing going to stop this. Did we not say this, Unlimited?
Yeah.
Nothing was going to. Unlimited and I aren't business majors. We aren't business majors like Outer Zinc. I've followed these mergers since AOL Time Warner, and I've seen that when the trillionaire white folks want to sell some shit, they're going to sell some shit, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it was hilarious to see the CMA or whoever try to stall. All it was a stall tactic, basically, to save Sony. That you can't stop the inevitable. It's inevitable that this company goes away. You can't stop it. So, I mean, they already showed their hand. They already showed their hand after all of this talk about their aura of invincibility and Sony's number one. They're the number one in the world. If you were number one in the world, again, you wouldn't be bitching about Call of Duty. Yep. That would have been like water rolling off of a duck. You would have just moved on. But no, you put your cards out there that your games don't sell and you need Call of Duty to continue funding your first party games. And now you only have 10 years of that. So now we have a date. In 10 years, PlayStation will be dead. Hooray. So let's just keep it moving, guys.
Yeah, and thank you, Smitty Smith. Hold on.
Rob.
Hey, hold on, Tuck.
They have not accepted a deal yet.
Hey, Tuck, hold on 1 second. Smitty Smith, thank you for the $5. He said, shout out to Ryan. Karen McCaffrey, the Book of X. Thank you, my friend. All right, go ahead, Tuck.
Hey, Rob, don't forget, y'all, they have not signed off on the deal yet, so they don't know if they're going to get it or not.
Yeah, and that's their fault.
Hey, good point, Tuck. I forgot about that piece of paper that's still hanging in the
Brad
dude's
Smith.
back pocket. Brad
pocket, yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
I'm concerned, they don't sign.
They're going to sign. What choice do they have? They don't have any.
Yeah, I hope when they sign it, Tuck, I hope that Xbox don't announce it until something public. Like I hope they sign it during the showcase, right? And then Phil Spencer says, "Oh, by the way, Sony signed a 10-year deal with Activision during the time everybody's watching, just to embarrass him a little more."
Wow, yeah, that'd be good.
He won't do that. He's so nice. He won't do that. I mean, we're at the stage now. If I was over at Microsoft and I was in charge over at Xbox, I would just start being dirtier. I would just start being dirty. Like Sony's getting back everything that they've done.
They're getting it all
over
back.
The decades. They're getting it all back. And to see Colin Moriarty and John Lindemann and everybody in the industry it's just so tiring. It's just so exhausting, which is why I just game. And I'm glad to be out of this shit. I know y'all tired of me being like a fucking broken record. But what more is there to say about how these guys are so protective? And I know the comment section is going to go nuts. Go nuts, whatever. I just can't get how they're so protective over the Japs. It's over. They haven't done anything relevant in 20 years. Take a look around you. Resident Evil again. Zelda again. I actually saw the limited production a video of some dude playing Zelda, and he was clowning it. Graphics that are dated, graphics that are at least at least 3 generations ago. Basically, the game is a ripoff of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. They showed the little Zelda dude trying to make some kind of catapult to catapult the creature across the lake. The creature died. They showed the Link dude. He fell in some water. He died. Yo, this is maddening to me that the Japanese can continue to make the same old garbage and be utterly protected by the industry. This is madness to me that Sony can do nothing for years, bury companies, bully developers, and they're protected by the journalists and the industry. But yet, a developer comes out with a game that supposedly has a few glitches and y'all completely eviscerate it. Like, this community to me is a joke. And if this is what y'all want to continue propping up Sony and Nintendo, then y'all deserve the shit they keep giving y'all for $70. Y'all deserve every last bit of it. But I mean, I'm glad that this again, to close out, man, I'm glad that the Activision deal went through. If only so that Xbox can get Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, because they'll take care of those intellectual properties. We might not see an actual game until the year 2146, but at least your great grandchildren, they know that Crash Bandicoot's coming. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely excellent stuff, E-Rock. And trust me, man, you don't bring us down to nothing with your insight. Smitty Smith again, thank you for the 5. E-Rock is right. Every Sony game should be called again the Book of X. Yeah, because it's the same shit over and over.
I'm gonna use that shit.
Yeah, man. He's not right. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, because listen, I have a PlayStation 5 and I've played many of these games, and they're not even close to what they cracked up to be. E-Rock brought up the likes of like Digital Foundry and stuff. Digital Foundry said something crazy. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a clip. I thought I saved it, E-Rock, but they said, and I'm paraphrasing here, Nintendo and Xbox need to learn how to I guess show their game accurately. Only Sony does it.
I heard
and everybody roasted them, E-Rock. Everybody's like, hold on. You know what? They went to the kill zone The Infinite.
Yes, Parasite Eve.
The Killzone trailer that was such a lie. Sony literally got sued over it.
Yes.
Let's not forget that. That game was such a fucking lie. People got lawyers involved.
We are at a point where John Lindemann, I still kind of like Richard Ledbetter, the boss over there at Digital Foundry. But here's the thing. He lets his two kids, John Battaglia and John Lindemann, run off at the mouth. Yep. And at some point, you have to pull in the reins if you're in charge over there. Because right now, Richard Ledbetter, John Lindemann is an embarrassment to you. He's an embarrassment to your brand. But hey, he'll continue having a job because as we've seen from Ryan McCaffrey, who's been over at IGN for decades now, these motherfuckers have the complexion to continue failing upwards, right? But John Lindemann is the last motherfucker who should be speaking about anything. Wasn't he the guy who just 2 months ago said, "Oh my God, I can't review Hogwarts Legacy because that's a kiddie game."
Yeah,
yet here this nigga is on Digital Foundry going nuts over Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh,
got you. Nigga, you put yourself at 8K. Like you can't like it's so maddening. Like I don't get upset over it no more. I just sit and just say to myself, fraud. It's to the point now. Like I get tired of saying like it's just maddening. And I feel bad for all you in the comment sections that y'all still involved in this shit, that y'all haven't discovered another hobby like fishing or fucking backgammon or stamp collecting. Because like if you expect fairness and honesty in the video game media, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it from Ryan McCaffrey or Colin Moriarty or IGN or John Lindemann. You're just not going to get it. This dude literally said, you were there? He literally said, I can't play Hogwarts Legacy because it's a kiddie game, which we know is not a kiddie game because motherfuckers die in Hogwarts Legacy. And it's pretty dark for a damn game. But yeah, here he is up and, I'm really enjoying The Legend of Zelda. I'm really enjoying building this cart where the wheels fall off. I just don't fuck. What is this insane obsession with keeping these Japanese companies alive? What, because you grew up with them?
I grew up with this shit.
Yes.
If it weren't for my boys and our quarters at the laundromat, and we had the greatest washer and dryer at home growing up. I mean, I may tag that bitch probably still work wherever it's at right now, you know. But our quarters that went into Donkey Kong at that laundromat,
yes,
was legendary, dude.
We played Mario.
Just stayed up there.
Yeah.
They would go broke if it weren't for our quarters over 40 years ago in that damn laundromat.
See,
dude, I could speak for the chat. We don't pay attention. We pay attention because we don't let shit slide. But we know things aren't fair, and that's why I don't let anyone go. And people think that I'm an X-bot, but I'm not. I'm a gamer that I like things fair. You have to be fair. I only throw fastballs. And even 100 got on me. It's like, Zink, man, you take this stuff too seriously. Yeah, I do. To me, gaming is a way of life.
Yes.
It's not something to do. It's not a hobby. It's a way of life. It really is for me. I could be out hanging out with a new chick every fucking week. I'd rather be my black ass in the house playing the damn game. If I wasn't on this damn show, I'd be playing Redfall to stay ahead of
right. And Zink, if you're an X-bot, look, I would never assume to correct you, man. But if you're an X-bot, goddamn it, be an X-bot. I'm an X-bot. And I dare anybody, I'm not dare anybody say anything about it. You know why? Because there's too many double agents and triple agents out here pretending that they support Xbox. And really, all they want to do is slander Xbox. You an Xbox, man, be an Xbox.
But that's the thing, though, Iraq. I'm not. I just go to where the best gaming is. And you know what? Like, Dia, I said this on Sean's show. I said you and Dia had the greatest exchange about Redfall. And before in the green room, we were talking. You weren't in here yet. I said Iraq might be right because I thought about what you said a long time ago. You said Redfall is like the Division. At first, to myself, I kind of disagree with that. But the more I played, now I told the team I'm 43 hours in. It is like the Division, along with Alan Wake. along with Splinter Cell, the way I play it. And when you said I don't go down the alley no more, and I wouldn't, I laughed. I was like, I wouldn't do that shit either until I got this one pistol. A pistol is my favorite weapon. And when I got this gold ass pistol, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for an alley to go down now. But, you know, it's just, oh, that's what I was going to say. Somebody said, Redfall, their cutscenes are terrible. I'm like, look, I forgot that there were no cutscenes. All I want to do is play the damn game.
The cutscenes. I'm sorry to cut you off, sir. The cutscenes are the cutscenes that was in the last couple of Arcane games. What's that? Dishonored. Yep. It had the same kind of cutscenes.
I didn't know that, but you know, I don't mind not having a cutscene. I want to play the game. I want to be the game. I
agree with that because it doesn't keep you in that scene. Look, I want to get back into the game. So like, give me the information that I want, and so I can get back in there, so I can get out that firehouse and go to the next mission.
And then decide whether I'm gonna walk there or fast travel there. You know. But hey, I wanted to say this at 7:21 p.m. Jay Dizzle said. Bro, and this dude, I've been hearing this, and this comment here, it's like E-Rock saying some shit and He-Bot saying some shit, and they just keep going, but it's too many things they've said that need more elaboration, you know. And Jay Dizzle is at it up here at 7:21. Bro, some of these ponies really think Sony is going to have GTA 6 as an exclusive, as a timed exclusive. Sony ain't got long money like Microsoft. And dude, you should hear these jokers. Sony hasn't had a show in damn near 4 years at E3. And now all of a sudden they're gonna have the greatest show in the world.
Well, for them it is. I mean, think about it. If you were starving, Zink, and somebody put a single P in front of you, that thing would look like a full meal. So that's where they at right now, you know?
Dia couldn't give me a cracker, you know, on one rib. She said a single P.
A single P, all right?
That messed me up, man. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Smitty Smith. Smitty Smith, thanks again for the 5. He said, exactly, Zink. I'm the same way. Either call it down the middle or don't call it at all. The Book of X. Hell yeah, Smitty. But you know, that's not what they're gonna do, man. They got channels to run and listen. I realized this a while ago, Smitty Smith and panel and chat. This is their job, and I'm not one of those people who believe that if you do what you love, you never work in a day. Because clearly, these people who used to love gaming fucking hate it now. Because I could just tell. I just tell people like Dreamcast guy wake up, E-Rock, and like, fuck, I got to talk about the Zelda game. Man, I'm so sick of this shit. You could just tell because it's a fucking job to them because they got to keep up their channel because that's their income. Meanwhile, for me, it's a hobby because you know what I'm doing when I get off work? I am kicking back on the couch and turn on my Xbox just to fucking relax. I don't feel pressure to do reviews. I don't got a time crunch. I don't got to do none of that bullshit, right? I just play games to enjoy it. That's it. You know, and so when I realized that, Smitty Smith, it really did just change my mindset a bit. And it's like, okay, I can't, you know, I really didn't take them seriously before, but now I'm just having fun with it, E-Rock. That I'm just not, for me, it's just a game at this point. Let's see. You know what I want to see? I want to see how deep down the rabbit hole these guys get. I want to see how freaking insane and crazy they are. Like a resident self-proclaimed Xbox fanboy, Destin Legary, he put out this article today. Starfield feels like Xbox last chance at redemption. I want this stupid shit. Give me this stupid shit that I can laugh at. So let me get this straight, Destin. The $600 billion company whose parent company spending nearly $70 billion for Activision, the only reason why your channel grew, Destin, from 20,000 to 100,000 this last 2 years is because of Xbox. Let's be real, it's because of fucking Xbox. Because listen,
True.
Destin, your channel did not grow because you were talking about God of War. Fuck you.
Nope.
Sorry, buddy. Didn't fucking happen. You know when your channel grew, Destin, when you sat up there back in like 2021
And
you
lied
said,
to us.
Yeah, and lied to us saying I'm an Xbox fanboy. I've always been
Yep.
an Xbox fanboy and all this shit. So when you put articles out like this, it's comedy because I know it's nonsense. I know that when Starfield comes out in September, it's going to be the biggest game of the year, sans Call of Duty. And the Xbox community, the PC community, the Bethesda community. Let's be real. Here's the thing about Bethesda games. They have a community on their own. Their community is similar to like the Halo community, where they could just exist, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
For decades, apparently.
Yeah.
Unabated and unbothered by time itself.
Exactly.
It is motherfuckers still playing. Motherfuckers are still playing Skyrim. Go to the tapes.
I'm guilty of that. So yeah.
and not, yeah, exactly, Dan and Iraq. And to add to that, I've literally seen with my own two eyes. I've seen people who literally bought an Xbox Series S or X strictly for these Bethesda games. They said it. They said it. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I bought the Xbox just to play Bethesda. That's it. Because and that's how they listen. These Bethesda guys. So when they get Starfield in September, they're gonna play the hell out of it. They're gonna play for like a decade, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I see stuff like Starfield feel like Xbox last chance at what? This isn't fucking a Rocky movie, buddy. All right, this isn't fucking he's not trying to fucking save his career in one last fight or some shit, fighting Drago and all that bullshit. It's a video game, Destin, and that's why. To tie back to what Smitty Smith said here, that's why Smitty, I realized that this is just like a bullshit job of them, because only a cynical dumbass could say something like this, right? That Xbox last chance is one video game when they got like 50 in production.
Look, unlimited. I'm sorry, man. Look, I get it. You guys should know by now that when y'all get me in these podcasts, I'll be a little bit exhausted at first because my day be kind of hectic, here at Casa Iraq. But once I get started, man, I got a lot to get out because I'm not on these podcasts a lot anymore, and I don't get a chance to talk. And on Mr. 100's podcast, it's impossible to talk in between the shouting and all the dudes there got narcolepsy. So you talking to an audience of nobody. I get what yellow journalism is. Having gone to college and taking writing courses in English 101, where they actually teach you how to write. I get what hyperbole is, outlandish statements. I get all of that. This isn't even comedy. This is lunacy. Like Xbox's last chance at redemption. How somebody explain to me how a $675 billion company needs redemption. Explain to me how the company that just bought Activision Blizzard needs redemption. Explain to me how a company needs redemption that I'm not going to sit here and name all the intellectual properties they have because we'll be here half the night. They've got all the studios that were working on Xbox owned IPs internally. They now own all of the Activision games. They now own all of the Activision IPs, including Call of Duty. They now own. Am I wrong? Am I right? They own all the Bethesda IPs, which includes Doom and Wolfenstein and all of that shit. Exactly. How the fuck? I'm sorry about all of the profanity, but it's just when I get
we calmed a lot down since Dia been here, so we doing okay out there.
Yeah, and I see this bullshit, Zink. How is this their last chance at redemption? Xbox Xbox just released 4 new IPs within a month and more coming.
Yes.
Xbox isn't the one that released a fucking Zelda game, right? That's running off of fucking 10-year-old tech that people are going to forget next week. And older. They're shooing always for game of the year. Xbox isn't waiting for one game in the fall, which is Spider-Man, to get them through. Xbox has multiple games and games yet to be announced coming to Game Pass this year that Phil's going to unveil this June at their show. Because Phil's and they like to do like Mortal Kombat just did and stealth drop shit, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like me and Unlimited Production said 2 years ago, we found out there's always stuff coming that you don't know about yet. There's always games coming to Game Pass that you don't know about yet. How, Dustin and Gary, is this their last chance at redemption? Explain to me how that works, and explain to me what redemption is in your mind. Redemption for who? Hold on, Zach. Redemption for who? The millions of gamers are supposedly, oh, well, I can't take this no more. Guess I gotta give up my Game Pass subscription. Bye. Redemption for who? Starfield isn't good. I'm gonna sell my Xbox. Bye.
Didn't they already do that though? I mean, that we just heard about what half of the Xboxes being sold off. So,
Dia, hold on 1 minute so I can give you this.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, baby girl. Continue. Because baby girl, you speaking too much damn truth on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm picked up, man. I look. Okay, there's no redemption. Xbox people have been tested. If you can survive Xbox One generation, you can survive anything. This is nothing. You got games coming. And by the way, Starfield is going to be. I want to address something. I'm going to pause on that. I want to address something. JJ's post at 8:49. He says, "Will Starfield be delayed because of all of Nintendo releases?"
Hey, you know what? Dear, let me stop you for a second. You know what? I saw him posting, whoever JJ is. JJ could be anybody. But I'm like, okay, he may like the Zelda. I'm like, okay, if you like Zelda, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's like Shisno Elite got big rank to me. And he likes a game that everybody was hating on. Oh man, I'm forgetting that Forspoken. So I'm going to leave him alone because he has credibility. Mm-hmm. Like when Unlimited will like a game or He-Bot will like a game, I'm like, okay, those individuals are credible. At first, I was about to do that. Now, Dia reads this. I'm glad we know how to read so we could see things like that shit there because I didn't see it.
I want to put some perspective there. I'm not here to pick on you, JJ. Okay, I just want to let you know because you might not know this. Okay. You're talking about the team that made Skyrim. No Zelda game, and I'm going to put it out on a limb. No Zelda game has ever done what Skyrim did. That game is still played today. There is no time when it comes to a Bethesda game when it's made by Todd Howard. You speak to anybody on that. They are an award-winning studio. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they do things that Nintendo wish they did. Mm-hmm. Open world is nothing to Bethesda. You don't know what open world is until you play a Bethesda game. Mm-hmm. Okay. Where anything can happen. You can go anywhere. There is no limitations as to what you can do. You'll hear different dialogue, even if you play hours, weeks, even months into the game. It's still people discovering stuff about Skyrim to this day. That is Bethesda. And if for you to put that out there, you don't understand that studio and you don't understand the games they made.
Dia, do you know why Skyrim and Elder Scrolls and even the Elder Scrolls Online, which we don't have any numbers on how many people are in there actually playing it?
They got well over 20 million.
Wow. Okay. People, yeah. There's no Nintendo game, no Zelda, no PlayStation game, nobody's game just doing that. And even though there's this guy that I used to always get into it with before my YouTube channel got taken down called Oh No, It's Alex. And we used to always get into it about shit because he got proven wrong. He got caught in a lie and he didn't like it. But I don't hate the guy. I think he's actually funny sometimes. But he is on point on some shit. There is one open world, actually two open world makers, Dia, who can give Bethesda a run for their money. Rockstar, can you guys hear me?
Oh my goodness gracious!
Rockstar definitely, and Ubisoft.
Oh, definitely.
The difference between those games and Skyrim and Bethesda games is that Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Online, and the upcoming God damn it, what is the big game that got coming up this November?
Starfield.
That's
in September, by the way.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's September. Yeah.
Those are role-playing games, and what that means is that people who spend thousands of dollars a year cosplaying and going to Comic Cons and shit.
There you
They live in this game. They
Yeah.
created a character based on them, and they're just not playing a game like I would play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and have a great time for months going back into the land of ancient Greece. No. This is different. These people are actually living in this game. They don't leave this game. They own shops. They've had families.
Exactly.
Dudes have had babies in this game. Dudes are shopkeepers and grand elite wizards in this game. There's some whole different shit going on in Bethesda's games.
Exactly.
So you cannot compare this shit to Nintendo's every 4-year re-release of Zelda with a different title. You can't compare it. So we need to stop that shit, right? That's why I laughed so vociferously, because it's like, what? I've never heard of Microsoft moving anything to avoid anybody. They don't operate like that.
But that's the game. A game they've been working on for all these, similar to Skyrim, if not bigger. And no offense, JJ, no, we're not putting down Nintendo. Nintendo gets overhyped too.
I am.
Okay.
I am. Sorry, I am.
Putting them down. Okay, I respect what they do for their audience and what they do. I mean, I'm not playing those games, but
no, because you're over 12 years old.
Yeah, they're the same to me.
That's why I shit on them.
They're not challenging for me
you
because
got that
it's
right.
the same stuff over and over again. Now, and that's okay for people who like that. I've never said they can't like that, but to put them on a scale with a company that's actually challenging what the tech can do, that's actually challenging what you perceive you can do in a game, that's on a whole nother level. And I'm sorry, nothing Nintendo is doing that. I'm just sorry. You can't point to any game. No, look, the Breath of the Wild game is not doing that. Open world had been done long before that game ever came out. Okay,
man, Breath of the Wild is being played on a damn oversized golf course with nothing in it for a long ass time. That game looked boring as hell to me.
I won't comment on because I didn't actually play the game. I've seen it, but if that's all that you can tout about that game, give me something that's innovative about those two Zelda games.
Here's what's innovative about it, dear. Here's what's innovative about it. And Unlimited would appreciate this.
Is it that Link could talk?
Oh shit! Somebody was going crazy about that in 2023. No, you got to read a lot. Do a lot of reading.
I'll pass. I'll pass because I dealt with that shit with the Yakuza's games. I ain't dealing with that shit with Zelda. Fuck that.
I think you can. He says the Link says a few things, but listen to this. They said you play
Zink. Saying y'all isn't a few things. That's just noise.
You and Dia, man, y'all can't say nothing today. That got me. Look, man, they said you play as the old game in a map for the same map for the first 4 or 5 hours of the game. Could you imagine if that were Halo? The ridicule it would get for something like that.
I was going to touch on that. Could you imagine if all Xbox put out every 4 years was another Halo or another Gears of War? Exactly. This shit you were here. There's this dude that we follow each other on Instagram, and he's trying to put Nintendo over about how great Nintendo is and how they make bangers and come on, dog, you gotta admit that. I'm like, listen, dude, listen.
I hate when people say that. You got it. No, I don't gotta admit shit.
Right.
I owned a Nintendo 64. I owned a Super Nintendo, right? Mm-hmm. So I was all on board with the Nintendo hype train back in the day.
My last one was GameCube.
Until that in 64. And I saw what Nintendo was all about. And I saw a good deal of what they were about after the GameCube. The GameCube was the last time Nintendo tried to put out new intellectual properties and tried to put out competitive hardware since 2006. And when those soccer moms went on Oprah Winfrey's show, it went on The View, it went on all those talk shows in the morning and said, I play Wii Sports and Wii Exercise and it's great. And it was a big hit with all the soccer moms. Nintendo realized they didn't have to try anymore. All they need to do is come out with a gimmick that captures the audience's imagination. And that's been their identity for almost 20 years now. It is not innovative to come out with a new Mario every 4 years, a new Zelda every 4 years, a new Super Smash Brothers every 4 years. There's nothing innovative about that. There's nothing I mean, the Switch would be a great console if I was 12. If I had a 12-year-old daughter, I'm not 12. I don't have a 12-year-old daughter. And most young boys who are reaching about the age of 13, they want to be on Call of Duty. They want to be on the systems that their buddies are on, either playing Spider-Man or playing Call of Duty or playing Halo. That's just how it is. So when I see everybody talk about how innovative Nintendo is and how they push the envelope, look, I just saw a video because when I don't know something, I try to find out about it before I talk, so I don't look like a fucking asshole. I'm sitting and watching this dude play Zelda. And first of all, yes, graphics aren't everything. But when your game does not look as good as a game that came out in 2008 by Rare called Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, when your game in 2023 can't do 1080p, when 720p, and Link is walking around stuttering and making vehicles and shit.
18 frames a second at times.
18 fucking frames a second, right? And when and people want to talk about I forgot what game they wanted to get on Ravenlock. There's no voice acting in Ravenlock. Ravenlock is a little small independent game that Coco Cucumber probably made for maybe $40,000 or $60,000.
And it's $25 as opposed to $70.
Thank you, my dude. Thank you. And
people try to make that excuse, E-Rock, saying, well, Nintendo isn't saying they have the world's most powerful console. Well, Zelda is $70 damn.
Yeah, Xbox does have the world's most powerful console, but they don't don't have this mandate with developers like, yo, listen, whatever your game budget is, you got to quadruple that to show what the console's power is. They didn't tell Coco Cucumber that. Coco Cucumber just said, we're going to make a great, charming game that's going to capture everybody's imagination. And this is what it is. And here's what's so baffling about y'all and baffling about Ryan McCaffrey and John Lindemann. If Ravenlock was on Nintendo, y'all be seeing how brilliant it is. We got to fucking know you would. I know you would, because this is who these people. First of all, Nintendo can't even run Redfall, and that's Unreal Engine 4. They can't run it. It'd be at 20 frames per second. But this is who these people are. But I hated to go on this rant on limited production, but god damn it to hell. I am tired of hearing about how innovative Nintendo is. God damn, even PlayStation gave y'all some new IPs the last 20 years. The Last of Us, Horizon Forbidden Entertainment.
Days Gone, even though it didn't last.
Days Gone. At least they tried some new shit. Nintendo, they hasn't tried nothing new in I don't know. I guess George W. Bush was in office at the time.
I think Splatoon was their last one.
Where's Donkey Kong at? They never talked about Donkey Kong.
That's an old game too, though, Tuck.
Yeah, but I agree with Tuck.
My dad was playing Donkey Kong in arcade.
Listen to Unlimited dating everybody.
I know. I was fucking with you.
Like you said, but I mean, but they just come up with the same damn games every damn year.
Hey man, here's the first.
It's not a problem if they mix that in with new stuff. If they're trying new things, you can't just do the same exact thing and expect people to keep praising you for it. Sometimes people get bored of it and they move on. That's why you have people who used to play on Nintendo that have moved on. Yes, they might buy a Nintendo Switch or something for their kids, but they're not playing on it. They want to see what new tech can do. They want to see the developers that's pushing it. Although Redfall fell flat, because of it had performance issues, not the game itself, but I'm talking about the launch. But they were trying something different. That's what I want to see from Nintendo. Do some different stuff. And if it means you have to have better hardware, do it,
They did. But it's just too bad that you probably would never see it from them.
But here you have to realize the complexity of the game. Redfall is an open world game.
Yep.
And you could go where you want
anywhere.
Then the game is 4-player co-op, right?
Yep.
You have to make AI to respond to 4 different characters on screen.
Yep.
Then there's a single player campaign. It's a lot going on in Redfall that other games do not do. And you just have one character running around. You just have one character running around in the other games that everybody is praising, like the Jedi game. It have more bugs than Redfall. Yep. But you just have one guy to tend to there, and you have a day-night cycle that's consistent in Redfall. Here's the first. here's the first. I call Shisno Elite and the lie over here at 8 o'clock straight up.
Get him.
Shisno Elite over here lying talking about. Can you imagine if Gears only released with just its great campaign without co-op? Xbox would be crucified.
Yeah.
How about this, Shisno Elite? Gears have a single player. Gears have a campaign co-op.
Yeah.
Gears have a horde mode. Gears has a multiplayer, and Gears have the other game,
Escape.
the escape mode. They got 5 modes in this game, dude.
And
That's
a
right.
tactical strategy.
And you hold on, Sega Man ain't no Hebot. Hebot is over here running state lines. Hebot's boy, Colt Eastwood over here talking about Xbox we've been starving for games since 2017.
Why, Zink? Why do they always have to have the most hyperbolic lie? Why is it always so extreme? We're starving, really? That's what you think? I turn on my Xbox, I go to the Game Pass and I have 500 games. That's starving. If that's listen, I don't understand, Zink. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but it's just so funny.
No, I have to calm down.
I knew you're going to say something crazy because it's never. I didn't enjoy this game. Which okay, that's your opinion. Cool, I respect that and move on. It's always Xbox hasn't. If Xbox is so terrible, why didn't you sell your Xbox then, Colt? Because that's 6 fucking years. That's if Xbox didn't give me nothing for 6 years, I am selling it.
Yeah, yes.
I'm selling it.
Yeah.
And what's more egregious is this motherfucker Colt Eastwood must have been in like a wormhole or a motherfucking time loop since 2017. So he completely missed out on Halo Infinite.
Yep.
He completely missed out on Gears of War 5.
Yep.
He completely missed out on Forza Horizon 4 and 5.
And
He
5.
Flight
completely
Simulator.
Flight Simulator.
My game that turned five years old today. State of K2.
That game is good.
He missed out on Sea of Thieves. He missed out on the
Rush.
Medium, Hi-Fi Rush. He missed out on what's that shit by Tim Schafer? That was a great game. Psychonauts 2.
Yes.
You missed out Ravenlog. You missed out on a lot of shit, buddy. You missed out on a lot of shit since 2017. And this is what I'm talking about. How is it that these people have a goddamn audience, but people who tell the truth, like Hebot, Unlimited Productions, Sega Man, don't have an audience, right? I'm out of the loop now, but how come these dudes don't have an audience? Is it racism? Is it their skin color? I'm trying to find out. Don't be mad at me.
Listen at E-Rock going off. E-Rock going off, and I'm not even finished. Because later on in the video, E-Rock, and I'm going to let you go ahead and finish going off. E-Rock, I'm gonna set this up for you. Then later on in the video, he said, for the better part of a decade, Xbox hasn't had anything. That brings it back to 2013.
Man,
I'm dying
when they had the best launch lineup. Go ahead, E-Rock. Go ahead and finish this shit off.
So, and I'm sure here's the thing about me and Unlimited Productions. Since we started doing these podcasts together in 2020, we like to fact check. We like to fact check ourselves before we go on the air and say anything, whereas these big YouTubers don't. I could be wrong, but I'm almost sure that since 2013, that's the better part of a decade, there's been at least 22 to 30 intellectual properties and games released exclusively on Xbox.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
So we'll be here all day talking about Recore, Rise in the Rome, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, but we're not going to do that, right? It's up to you, the people who are listening in the chat, and the people that believe these assholes. It's up to y'all to fact check. I used to tell folks all the time when they came to my YouTube channel when I had my comments up, it's not for me to fact check, it's for y'all to fact check. Because I could be a goddamn liar. I could tell you any fucking thing. I could tell you that J-Lo is actually an alien from Remulac, and that's why Ben Affleck looks so fucking unhappy. It's up to you to fact check, nigga. Ain't up for me to fact check. I'm sorry, dear. Ain't up for me to fact check shit for you. You gotta fact check it for yourself. Ain't that right, dear?
That's right.
And the thing is, we don't even have to do that. Like I was talking to Dia's favorite fan, Ramo, and we just rattled off 15 straight games without doing nothing. And when he brought up 2017, that's when the Xbox One X released and upgraded every damn thing, the damn 4K 60. That's when the most powerful game of the generation, Forza, came out, native 4K, HDR10, 60 frames per second locked, 100% locked. Gran Turismo 7 that was released in 2022 can't do that shit today.
It's just simple fact checking, but these guys, they're allowed to get away with that shit, which is why I don't see how they have any respect in the community to just flat out. I mean, there's hyperbole, and then there's that goes beyond hyperbole. That's just, nigga, you just flat out lying. Yeah. And nobody checks these guys. Or if you go in the comment section and check them, they'll get mad at you, or they'll delete you. Or it's just this gaming community is just wild. But it's hilarious now. Like Cole Eastwood, if you don't like Xbox that much, then just leave.
Please get rid of it. I've been saying that.
Because think this, dear, if Xbox ain't have nothing in close to a decade, so you say, then PlayStation ain't had nothing then. PlayStation ain't had nothing. PlayStation ain't had nothing then. What? You so you telling me, let's check the tapes now. You mean to tell me you bringing up God of War, you bringing up Spider-Man, you bringing up Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden Entertainment, Days Gone, you bringing up the game where Norman Reedus was butt naked carrying a baby around in a box. You putting that up against the damn near 30 games that Xbox released for the console since 2013. You know, we was here for all of that shit. My YouTube channel started in 2013. We was here for all of that shit. I was here for it, Colt Eastwood. I was the one supporting Super Lucky's Tales, right? And then, Super Lucky's Tales is garbage. And then not even a year later, Unlimited Production, a Nintendo dude made a video. You saw my video. Yep. A Nintendo dude was like, "Oh my God, this is great! I can't believe this was on Xbox." Like, get the fuck out of here!
Yeah.
Get on out of here!
Hold on, no. This is what they said. This is what he said when it was on Xbox. And it was the same. It was the same Nintendo dude. He said, "I don't like Xbox, so I don't like the game." It comes to Nintendo. The exact same guy. E-Rock put on his video. The exact same guy. Oh, this is so charming. This is perfect game for Switch, right? That's, you know what I'm saying? And it is just so funny. And that's what this gaming world has come to. They're almost like, it's almost like talking to Cowboys fans who are going to root for the Cowboys no matter how terrible the team is. A team that hasn't won the Super Bowl since I was like 6 fucking years old. I see every year Cowboys saying, "This is our year. This is our year." Right? Right?
Hey, same with Bear fans, dude.
Yeah, it's like these dudes are fans of their consoles first before they are of the game.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that would be fine if they had any form of objectivity, but they don't, because they literally expose themselves. Here's a perfect example. Sorry, by the way, there's the same writer, Dusty Bailey. Sorry, Redfall. I'm not going back to 30 frames per second console game. Dustin Bailey again with Tears of the Kingdom.
Wow.
I couldn't be more excited for Tales of the Kingdom. This game runs at less than 30. What happened, man? It's a console game.
This is why I love Unlimited Production.
Unlimited is the shit, dude.
Dia, he been doing this since I known him. He been doing this since I met him. He be catching these dudes in lies almost every week.
He should be a lawyer, you know.
Yeah,
no, he's call. Worse. He's a damn accountant. Shit.
Yeah.
I found the lies in your tax brackets.
Wow.
Honey, we're doing great. We're doing fine. Actually, no, you're not.
Yo, I got some stories that deal with 7 figures, man. So I've done seen some shit in my ears.
But he be catching these dudes in lies just literally days apart. I think this is about a week between these articles. He be catching these guys just days apart. They say one thing one week. Oh, I can't play games. All of y'all, all of them in the media. I can't go back to playing games at 30 frames per second. And then Zelda: The Tears of the Kingdom come out running in between 20 FPS and 10 FPS. Oh, this is the greatest experience ever. I'm going to sell my kids so I can buy the copy of this game. Like what? Like it's just huh? Yeah, like what? Like, dear, listen, I wake up to this stupidity, boom, and I go right the fuck back to sleep. Like, I can't deal with this shit today. I'll
Hey,
try.
Unlimited, I think you missed Smitty Smith's super chat at 7:52.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
said,
while you look for that, I wanted to say, damn, when I missed this shit. Phase 114. Where is that thing at? He said, same with Sea of Thieves. They have their own community that don't give a shit about what people think.
That's
And
true.
they do, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that community is live and walking all on its own. And Xbox have several communities like that. Like who we gave Hebot somebody. Sega Man, he missed today. So let's pick on Sega Man. Just like Boomstick, Sega Man's favorite guy. This Joker said the latest Minecraft game release really didn't hit off. Bruh.
Right. Phil Spencer literally said it had 3 million players like a week after it came. Listen. This is exactly what E-Rock was saying a minute ago. Perfect. Thank you, Zink. Thank you, Zink, for proving E-Rock right. Because it is amazing that he could say that his channel got like 200,000 subscribers. He could say that bold-faced lie to his fucking audience face, and his audience just like, I guess you're right. Which type in Minecraft Legends is one of the first things that come up. I don't. That's why I'm glad I put stuff on screen, because you're never gonna come here and tell me nothing.
Right,
That ain't gonna happen.
And here's the thing, dude. Don't say keep Minecraft out of your mouth, because it's the world's largest game. Period. It's the world's biggest moneymaker. It's the world's biggest gaming property over everything. Period. Now, with that being said, let's go back a little bit when E-Rock was going off. And people don't understand something here. When Activision is finished, people say Sony is still going to be the market leader by far. Okay, that's excuse me, Unlimited. I'm gonna round up just a little bit at times, so don't do your bullshit to me. As I sat in the accounting lab, doing school and shit. So anyway, after you make this $70 billion purchase with Activision, forget Sea of Thieves, with Minecraft north of 30 billion. Okay, that's 100 billion right there. Then I'm just going to put Halo in there at 10 billion because I like Halo. That's 110 billion in 3 entities right there. Okay, forget everything else. Hey, Sony, your entire corporation is worth $72 billion. So how the fuck is it not the biggest in gaming? How is Sony bigger? What metric are you using?
That's the question you asked.
The old metric boxes sold, which everybody that's ever been in business has told you that the box doesn't make money, the software makes money.
Correct. Hey, and with that being said, let's go here. And we always talk about this. Unlimited knows Colin Moriarty is his favorite. He always talks trash. Sony doesn't own anything. So when you start liquidating things, you don't own Spider-Man. You don't own Final Fantasy. What do you own? You own nothing. If you liquidate Microsoft, just right there, you got 110 billion in the bank. Okay? You got 110 billion in the bank. So what you talking about now? How can you figure that, Sony is still the market leader by far? Hey, you take Sony, I'll take 3 entities from Microsoft, and I'm good. While you're sitting there on 72 billion.
I'm still, because I follow a lot of businesses, because that's just what I do. I follow a lot of businesses, so I know what I'm talking about when I write. I have never seen any business that is only worth $72 billion. So you say, I thought it was $48 billion. I've never seen any business supposed to be.
No, that's Sony as a whole. That's Sony pictures and gaming is 48 billion, I think 48 billion, and with everything it's like 72 billion.
They fucked up then, because last time I checked, Microsoft, the parent company Xbox, is worth $2 trillion, and Xbox itself is worth $678 billion. Look, I know y'all hate these facts and figures, and I get it. Y'all grew up with PlayStation. We talked about this before. Y'all grew up with PlayStation, and y'all don't want to see y'all. They're not even a Japanese company anymore. The Japanese have this own PlayStation. So we need to stop. I need to stop calling them a Japanese company. That's number one.
That is true.
I'm trying to figure this out because in the streaming business, everybody finally admitted that Netflix is number one. Finally, it took Disney's lies to fucking evaporate for everybody to just finally admit, yeah, ain't nobody catch up to Netflix no time soon. In any business, in any metric, whether it's DuPont or whether it's I don't know, Alex's Lemonade, like you never hear some shit where, well, the mom and pop lemonade over there is the market leader. How the fuck are they the market leader? How the fuck is you know the little Easter candy, the little fucking marshmallow ducks Peeps? How the fuck is Peeps is number one when motherfucking Reese's peanut butter cups is on the same shelf?
Yeah,
the
Mars Candy Company.
Yeah, only in the fucking this weird ass video game bubble journalism where you know the brand I have to grow up that I grew up with, we can't see them go anywhere. They're number one. Only can the loser be the market leader. Are y'all following what I'm saying? How does that make any sense? Oh, the company that makes no fucking money is they told you. The white man told you, Jim lying and crying, Jim Ryan. He stopped lying and crying that day. Our games don't sell. We need Call of Duty. He told y'all PlayStation's a fucking failure. And y'all still in. So you had some fucking dickheads in the comment section of the show last week. Well, Phil Spencer came out and told y'all that the Xbox that this that interview that Phil Spencer did was misconstrued, which is why he shouldn't have fucking did it. He shouldn't have did it in the first place. But no sooner than he did that interview, boom, the Activision deal goes through. You see how Xbox is now just fucking succeeding and failing upwards, all because
that's not failing upwards.
You're right. Let me change that.
Way to catch him in a lie.
Yeah, you caught me in a lie. Get me. You caught me in a lie. All of this is hard work that was put into place since 2013. But like the dominoes are falling into place because they put in the hard work. So it looks like it's failing upwards, but it's not. It's not. Sony is actually failing. Y'all boss came out and told y'all our games don't make any money. So I just need for somebody to explain to me, how are they the market leader? How? Like, I'm trying to figure out the metric because, I need to is my math wrong? Is my understanding of science wrong? Is like how I'm still trying to figure this out. The people are saying, well, Sony's the market leader. Well, if they was the market leader, then they would have bought Activision. Yep. I don't have. There's nothing.
Hey, E-Rock, could you explain to me, since Sony is the market leader, why didn't they use some of their leading 20-year dominating? If you listen to some pony bots, they dominated. Could you please tell me, E-Rock, why didn't they buy Activision?
Zink, my dude. My brother from Milwaukee. I'm trying to figure this shit out myself.
He gave me Milwaukee, dude. We hate Milwaukee in the Chicagoland area. We hate the Packers. We hate the Bucks.
I am trying to figure this out. I can't listen. I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm trying to understand. PlayStation fans in the audience, people in the comment section, help me understand. Help me understand how, if PlayStation is the market leader, why didn't they buy Activision Blizzard? They should have been the first one to cough up that $78 billion. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. How can the market leader not be outspending Microsoft right now? I don't understand.
Yeah, this is how they lied to themselves. They do it organically. That's their lie.
Yeah,
organic.
Correct. Yeah, they organically.
It's not organic, Zinc and E-Rock and Daya and Tuck when they buy Final Fantasy. Because remember, Final Fantasy 15 was on Xbox. That's not organic when 16 isn't. But it's organic when they don't have the money for Bethesda and Activision.
Is it organic when they bought Unlimited? Is it organic when they bought Destiny, the makers of Destiny?
No. That was them owning Halo.
That's right. My bad. They own Halo after they bought Bungie. My bad.
You forgot they own Halo. That was the one. That's what they thought. That was hilarious because they really and truly thought
they sure did.
Sony owned Halo for that moment. But yeah, that's just. But let's see. Smitty Smith's here. Sony's the market leader in lies, smoke and mirrors, and cheap parlor tricks. The Book of X. Yeah, man. That the cheap parlor tricks are from like them poor sorry ass strippers, the ones with the false teeth. That's where they coming from.
Hey fellas, let me tell you right now, and I'm not gonna say don't lie to you. Now we know the media have something to do with this, telling them that they're the market leaders and all that stuff.
Yep.
Okay, but explain this to me. Okay, we got over 30 million people playing Halo. We got over 30 million playing Forza Motorsports. We got over 30 million people playing Sea of Thieves. We got over so many people playing Grounded. So how the hell are you going to tell me that we got all these people playing these damn games, but they the fucking market leaders, and they don't have not one damn game that people is playing over 30 million people playing, not a one. Answer me that.
With their own show every month, and Sea of Thieves just had another show. Because they have an audience.
And hell, if I'm not for sure, I think they just came out with download content. I saw download content yesterday, this morning.
Mm-hmm. And so does Forza Monthly comes out every month.
Right. Mm-hmm. And here go that damn game had over 30 million people.
Flight Simulator got 15 million.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer told Unlimited himself, "Hey, Unlimited, you know that game you like, Hi-Fi Rush? Age of Empires have more players."
Yeah, it has more. Yeah.
But we starving for games though.
And no telling how many people playing that game anyway. Age of Empire.
Dude, a lot of people play that game. Age of Empires is decades old.
Yeah,
that's an old, long.
That old ass game right there, but people still playing the hell out of it.
Yeah,
but all of a sudden we don't get no
legacy game.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
and here's another one by Smitty Smith. I don't think you got this one. At 7:52, and IGN wonders why nobody takes them seriously. Someday, call TD Jakes because we need an exorcism up here.
Smitty, what have you taken?
The Book of X.
He's making like volume 2 of the Book of X. My God,
dude. Hey man, I keep telling y'all, this dude is crazy. Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Yeah. Hey, and with that, we're gonna move on to our next topic. So I found this one interesting. So the other day, it looks like on the 15th, Cliffy B, Bleszinski put out a tweet saying, "Gamers, come back and make Gears great again. Microsoft crickets. No. Me, F it. I'm gonna make a comic series and produce a Broadway then." And so I read a little more into it, a couple articles that pretty much it looks like he's been trying to position his way to get back into the Gears, running to Gears, and Microsoft has no interest. So it kind of got me thinking, did he burn the bridge? Because remember that Lawbreaker game was a PlayStation exclusive. It flopped mega hard. It's y'all don't even remember what
Lawbreakers. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, that's how.
Hell yeah.
Can you refresh me, please? Because I remember the name, but I just don't remember.
Yeah, so Lawbreakers Day came out around 2017, 2018, and it was a multiplayer game. It was Overwatch.
Unlimited. You got to go a little bit before that, because before it released, he bragged about it. Is that the one where he said it'll look better in blue or something?
Yes. Thank you for refreshing my memory. Yeah, that was before the game come out. He was saying stuff like it looked better in blue. He chose PlayStation because it was the market leader. The same. Which if that game, that's one of the proof that the whole market leader stuff is a false narrative there. Because when Lawbreakers came out, and it was pretty much a Overwatch ripoff gameplay wise, and it flopped. To say it flopped is an understatement. It didn't even chart.
Correct.
So I don't even know what to call that. I don't even know what to call that. But the point is,
can I reply to that before we get started? because I'm going to go to bed because I got to get up and go to work tomorrow.
Go ahead, Tuck.
Okay, let me tell you right now, that motherfucker thing kiss my ass. So you know, hey, Microsoft do not need to bring that motherfucker back at all. And I mean, not at all. I'm glad to see Microsoft said nobody. Hell, you brought no damn bridges long damn time ago. And I'm going to tell you another point too. You look at all these, this is one thing that don't get me. Look at all these damn people that Microsoft helped out and then burnt that damn bridge.
Right.
Cuphead, Ori the Blind Forest. Where are the motherfuckers at now?
Point them out, Tuck.
Where are they at now? And Microsoft helped every single one of their asses.
Get them, Tuck.
So fuck them too. Shit.
Wow.
I mean, here go Cuphead. The people was coming out of their damn houses, was about to get out of their houses.
Hey, Tuck, they couldn't pay the mortgages, right? Tuck, they couldn't pay their mortgage, right, Tuck? They needed help.
Yeah, they needed help.
Hey, one of them asked me for a room.
So I'm telling you, E-Rock, I'm telling you right now, I think Microsoft might be making a turn on that shit. If you're going to burn their ass, they ain't helping your ass on the second one. And they might not even help you on the first one.
That's right.
I mean, they get tired of that shit. After your ass get burned so many damn times, what happens? You either get tired or either you're going to stop the shit. And that's all it is to it. But what's his name? Cliff what?
Cliff
Bleszinski.
Oh, you mean Cliff fuckery?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck him. He need to go ahead and go back with Sony and ask Sony for a damn job. Ask them for a job. All of a sudden, he gonna see what they're the market leader. And look what the market leader did. Fucked them over and they gave me with shit.
Hey Tuck, after Gears of War got hot, the nigga went out and leased a Ferrari. So they probably getting ready to repossess that Ferrari. So now he went back in. He's like, yo, I got to get back up in Microsoft's good graces so I can keep this car and this house in North Carolina.
It was he made his money, and that was a Lamborghini.
Oh my bad, I downgraded that nigga. My fault.
So
the nerve. Listen, I'm sorry. I know everybody hates me, and I want y'all to continue hating me. I'm not hating the white boys. I'm just taken aback by the balls they have. Like, look, man, I done bought a Lamborghini and fuck Microsoft, but now can I please come back, Microsoft? Like,
hey, E-Rock, don't forget he wrote a book too that spilled his guts out on the floor. And you know something, man, I don't feel bad, but I feel bad about this because dude is incredibly intelligent. He is a genius, unlike Mark Cerny.
I don't feel bad about it. So the nigga that created the nuclear bomb was a genius, but I wish he didn't fucking create it. I wish he didn't fucking create that shit.
No, hey, you lied. Hey, yes, you do. If he didn't create that bomb, we'd be speaking German right now. Okay.
Well, no, not to get off track. I do believe that without that bomb, we would eventually beat Japan. But like now, you got motherfuckers that don't need to be having their fingers on that button. Have you seen Joe Biden? That motherfucker might reach over and try to hit the button for nurse.
I'm gonna go to bed. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Talk
on your ass to bed, goddammit.
Good stuff. Hey man, first of all, hold on. Let me say something real quick. Hey, Dia, we apologize for our vernacular tonight.
Yeah,
we'll get better.
I've never seen Tuck like that before. Guy punched the button. I'm like, what the heck did this guy do?
Look,
Tuck is usually walking dogs or eating pork rinds
or talking to his wife or something.
Yeah, he don't never be that fired up.
Well, dear, all I can tell you is if you need a more laid back podcast, the podcast for you is the Xbox Has Games podcast, because like I said earlier, everybody over there has
no, she can't survive over there, dog.
Everybody over there.
Keep her here with us.
She survived a 12-hour shift with Sega Forever.
Oh damn! Oh damn!
I was a zombie at the end of that thing.
But the language is different. If Flip Money get to going off over there, it could be problematic.
Cliff Bleszinski is one of those dudes that can't come back. Maybe Phil because he's mighty pragmatic nowadays, and I don't know whether he discovered God or whatever, or whether he's always been a nice guy. But I don't think you could come back. Somebody had said a couple of years ago on the Dragon X podcast with the Welsh gamer, great guy. Somebody had said in his Welsh accent, because the Welsh have a different accent than the English. Well, Iraq, do you think that Bungie would come back? I'm like, Bungie ain't never coming back to Microsoft. That door is listen, guys. Microsoft went and hired a new team, 343 Studios, and they were successful. Why would Bungie come back? No, you wanted to go out there and dip your feet in the water. You thought the grass would be greener over on the other side, over there at Activision. And now, where did they go? What was it, Activision?
Yes. They went to Activision for a few years.
Y'all went to Activision, and now Xbox owns Activision.
Yeah.
You can't come back. You can never come back. Like that song, Boys, you can't come back. You can never come back. And so with Cliff Bleszinski, yeah, he was a genius, but how much of that genius was him, or think how much of that shit was Rod Ferguson?
Well, it was actually both. And the thing is, sometimes when you're that smart and you meet somebody that's as equally as intelligent like Rod Ferguson, when he tried to get Rod Ferguson back, Rod Ferguson said, "Hey, we're equals, right?" Because Cliff was too domineering, and he thought his shit didn't stink. So he knew he had a problem. And I guess part of his problem was, he wrote that book. But dude, you just can't burn bridges like that.
Because Microsoft ain't letting people come back, man.
No, they're not.
It's like that part. We'll never understand why that partnership between Ed Boon and John Tobias, Mortal Kombat.
We'll never know.
Who was really the creator of that shit? Who was really the creative force behind that shit? Was it Ed Boon or was it John Tobias?
Yeah.
WB Games don't care. They're rolling. And Microsoft is rolling, but they have the coalition now, and the coalition have done excellent with Gears of War. They've done above and beyond what any of us could have ever imagined. And 343 Studios have done beyond anything we could have ever imagined with Halo. Yeah. So sometimes you can't come back. I think right now that Studio MDH, the guys that did Cuphead, they're kind of feeling kind of stupid right now, because where do they go from here? The guys that made Ori and the Blind Forest, where do we go from here? Sometimes, guys, the grass is not greener on the other side. Sometimes the grass is greener where your ass was at. So did Cliff Bleszinski burn a bridge? I think he did. I think Microsoft needs to evaluate who their creators are and why do we need these people. And I've always said the one creator that they should have grabbed up was the studio called Crytek. They should have grabbed up Crytek, but it never.
They tried, but they didn't want to be bought. And it was a lot of stuff like that going on with Crytek there.
And what a dumb decision that was, because if we look at Crytek's history, ever since they had a chance to get bought by Microsoft, they did a game called Kingdom something. They did an RPG that was too RPG even for RPG players. That didn't go over well. And he did something called The Hunt. So their pockets is kind of light over there right now in Crytek.
Very light. They love to be purchased now, so they could be doing something worthwhile here. But
here's the thing now. Microsoft has so many game engines, and now the Unreal Engine is 5. Now the Unreal Engine 5 is a thing. It can do graphics better than the Crytek engine. Yeah. Do we even need? His name is Cyril Yavat. He's the owner of Crytek. Do we even need him anymore? Do we need Cliff Bleszinski anymore? I know this sounds cold-blooded, but this is the age we live in.
You're right. And to put in to go along coincide with what you're saying, Iraq, you could put David Jaffe in that same predicament. He's been talking all of this shit every game he tried.
Shit.
Garbage.
He's been talking mad shit.
Hasn't he? And the two smart guys. Well, Cliff is super smart. David, he is smart dude. I got to give him that. The first God of Wars were very good games. I prefer Ninja Gate, but they were good games. But Kratos is a great character. But dude, people don't want your attitude no more. You can get up out of here. And Vaca said, Rob Ferguson is coming back. True. We bought him back. He's coming back to
He
give.
tried to escape Microsoft. Is that what happened?
He did, and he said, "Hey, I'm bringing this game Diablo back just for Dia 4568."
Let me say this: he didn't. So with some of these guys, it's not that they're not escaping Microsoft. It's just it's natural for a lot of people, especially talented people, to try their foot elsewhere.
Correct.
It's just a natural, because some people get bored being at the same place forever.
Oh, right? Here, let me shake up Unlimited. You made me remember something. I apologize, Unlimited.
Oh, yeah.
Here's something, Unlimited, that people aren't talking about, and I'm sure you have a graphic somewhere. Sony dropped 3 studios and laid off people at 3 studios in less than 2 weeks, and ain't nobody saying shit about it.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Why would we talk about that? They're the market leader.
That's because when they cancel games, you get articles like this. PlayStation cancels so many games, but that's great for PlayStation 5.
Wow. What? Is that new? Is that up to date?
Yes.
What? Wow.
And this whole article is just them justifying somehow that PlayStation don't give them games and how great it is. They spent $500 to play the same fucking shit they played on PlayStation 4, and somehow Xbox are the big bad guys with Starfield and Stalker and all this stuff.
See Unlimited. While these articles are being written, Dia is at Bible study. But apparently, if PlayStation loses 3 studios and a bunch of games, that's perfect for the console. But if Xbox loses 1 game, it's disaster. We're worried about their future. They have to make a glorious comeback, or they need a redemption arc. Yeah. Like what?
Can I say something about that? I just want to say that this
about the Bible study or the games.
No, about the fact that they would cover that up, and try to make a positive spin on that. Look, this is why Sony's not going to make it. Okay, they actually believe this stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's not good that they had 3 studios and they had to lay off so many people, because at a time where everybody's consolidating, they're grabbing studios. They're trying to expand at this time. And Sony is letting people go. Now let's backtrack here. They're trying to compete against Game Pass, whether people want to admit it or not. That's what they're trying to do. How are you going to keep up with content if you're letting people go? How are they going to do? How are they going to come up with the 12 gas games if you letting people go?
Well, Dia, they're the market leader. What do you? I don't understand.
We'll make it off of Spider-Man, I suppose.
Go ahead, Dia. Explain this to us.
This is a severe problem. Okay, it's like they don't understand how games are made. You only have so many studios, and some of them don't even make games. They port things over. Okay, and now you got them letting studios go. They need all the manpower they can get if they're going to have a service, a game service like the PS Plus. The PS Plus, whether they like it or not, it doesn't have to be a Game Pass clone, but it has to keep up with the content. You can't sit up there and have
Dia, please. Hold on, Dia, stop. I have to commend you. You are the first YouTuber to say that. It's always been Microsoft have to feed Game Pass. Hey, Dia, when is Sony going to feed PlayStation Plus? Go ahead.
Yes, they can't have a service where you have no content in it, that you wait 3 years and stuff. I mean, remember what I said about the P? These people are starving for a game, for some new games, okay? They starve, and then they get our sloppy leftovers, thinking that it's the first time that it's coming to their service. All right, so this is what's going on the PlayStation side. I'm not celebrating it. I'm just pointing out a fact. The fact is, if PlayStation is going to stay around, they need to get better. And this is not them getting better. This is them dying on the vine. You can't cut people that could give you games. You need as many people as possible, and talented people. You can't easily replace these people. And let me go back to this Cliff Bleszinski. Why didn't that guy go to PlayStation? Because I think that most of these developers understand that it's very difficult to work under Sony. They know it. Okay, we've heard some of the testimonies of what was going on with people trying to deal, not as a first party, but trying to deal with PlayStation with contracts and producing games for them. Sony doesn't care about these studios. And quite honestly, what did we just witness? They threw their own studios under the bus for COD. Okay,
Yes.
so what kind of atmosphere do they actually have over there when it comes to games and what their studios? Okay, so I think this guy understands the writing on the wall. If he's smart, he gets it. He knows nothing is stopping Microsoft. Nothing. All right. This deal is going to go through with the ABK thing, but even if it did, Microsoft is still going to keep buying. And just like Platinum Games, and just like Ori, the people who made Ori and Cuphead, they all know it. And at some point, you're going to see all of them come back. Platinum's already tried it and failed. Okay, now it's this guy's turn. Eventually, you're going to see Ori, and you're going to see others. Okay, just like you guys said, the people with Crytek didn't want to be bought. I bet you if Microsoft offered them a deal now, they'd want to be bought. Okay, things are different now. And here's the thing that tells me that Microsoft hasn't forgotten the way they were treated. They haven't go run into these people. They could have gotten these people ages ago, but they didn't. They're going to studios and developers and people that you have like Double Fine. I never would have considered Microsoft buying a Double Fine, but that was a great purchase. But I wouldn't have considered that. You know what I'm saying? They're going way further than what you would think, like to areas you wouldn't consider. People that I think that they feel that they can trust. They're not going to go to these type of people, just to swing things back to this guy because this is the subject. So
and I'm gonna let you keep going. And Hebot said something at 8:42 p.m. Cliffy B deserves a second chance because he admitted how bad his decisions were.
Okay.
He also apologized to Microsoft publicly. All right, go ahead, Dia and
Unlimited. Go ahead and elaborate. What was you going to say?
No, I just said I disagree with Hebot. Okay, you apologize, that's fine, but I mean, and I know this is going to be a weird analogy, but if your girl cheated on you and apologized, you taking her back? No.
Yeah.
Damn, Unlimited. This nigga here, man.
And I mean, but listen. Listen, Cliffy B came out there and said this game looks better in blue. We made it an exclusive because of the market leader, and it flopped. And I'm sorry, I just don't feel bad for him. And it's clear Xbox don't feel bad for them because they got no interest in bringing them back for his antics. So Cliffy B, apologize.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. I'm with you on that. Cliffy B, he out here acting like he's Zack Snyder. Nigga, you ain't Zack Snyder. Like exactly. Zack Snyder didn't bite the hand that fed him. He made Warner Brothers billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they fucked him over. But Cliffy B, I need you to understand this, and I'm Unlimited, forgive me. Cliffy B, I need you to understand this. Gears of War was a game changer, but Halo built Xbox. Correct. That ain't never gonna change. Halo.
And sorry to cut you off, but since Cliffy B left, Gears of War didn't die.
It did. No. It's doing good.
So Xbox looked at it as, what do we need you for? The reviews aren't as good as they were in 2000. So what? The game still sold. It still is $1 billion franchise.
It's got more players than ever now.
Yeah. Yep. So what metric can what benefit can Cliffy bring to Gears other than a 5 minute positive PR that they're going to shit on him anyway a week later if he goes back to Xbox?
Mm-hmm. Yes, why'd you go back to Xbox?
He can bring a lot to the game. Sega Man and I have played this game through and through extensively. I don't. If I have 5,000 hours in something, it's worth my time. He is super smart. He knows the game, but I agree with Unlimited more than I agree with Hebot, but I do agree with Hebot, but it's the same. It's like 100 said. You can't come back. Once you've been that detrimental, it's like slapping my kid. You can't, first of all, it'll be a miracle if I don't kill you, but I'm not going to let you back in. And what he did, he basically slapped Sega Man and I at the same time, talking this shit about his Lawbreakers game. So I'm I respect him, but even I don't want him back.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of him too. But just because I respect what you did in the past does not mean what you're doing now is going to bring the same results.
Whoa! Are you guys saying that you're not beholden to the past?
No,
Wow.
listen, I've been the one person who's been saying for years I don't give a shit about nostalgia. So
my dude.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Hold on, wait, E-Rock, hold on.
Same page.
E-Rock, hold on. Unlimited is not old enough for nostalgia. Okay,
that's true. That's true. I wasn't putting quarters in Pac-Man in 70.
Hey, I was just about to say that, dude. If Pac-Man come out with a new game today, your boy Zink copping that bitch.
Hey Zeke, what? You mad at Unlimited because he didn't know the agony of mowing lawns all morning for 50 cents and then losing that shit.
No, man. My ass was cutting grass. Listen, my dad got me up one summer. I didn't even know how to start the fucking lawnmower. He still told me to cut grass.
But Unlimited, my dog, you don't know the agony of mowing that grass all morning for your dad, getting 50 cents, and then losing it in 2 seconds playing Donkey Kong. That's a whole different kind of agony.
Hey, hold on, E-Rock, let me jump on you. And we had to walk the lawnmower blocks and blocks just to get to that yard. Okay?
We must have been crazy. Like, yo, man, I'd have just mowed 18 lawns. I got $3. Let's go play Pac-Man.
All that just to die in 30 seconds, man.
That's right.
So Unlimited. So Unlimited. When people tell you how glorious the 80s was, I'm the only survivor here to tell you, nope, it wasn't glorious. Nope.
Oh,
keep that up, Unlimited. Let me address Hebot there. Hi,
Hebot.
Go ahead. Says here, Dia, the reason Double Fine wanted to be under Microsoft because without them, the first Psychonauts wouldn't exist.
That's true.
Okay, so they had some type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that from what I can see of what Microsoft is doing, it seems to me that if they have some good idea of who you were before they started doing all of these acts. Right now, it's just like being the rich kid. Not everybody wants to be your friend, right? But it seems to me that Microsoft is looking at the relationships they had before, and that they were good. These are the type of people they want to bring under their wing. If it seems to me, they could have run to get a Platinum Games. They could have run to get maybe the people of Ori back or something, or Crytek or something. But they're not. They're not going after these people. They're not even offering them anything. So that tells me that the past relationship has done something with them.
You bring up a great point, Dea, because it just hit me, and I'm glad you brought up Platinum Games because a year ago they were begging Microsoft.
They were.
Like these guys burning bridges with Xbox, and then over here literally begging to come back. And this is how I think this. I'm gonna use this as proof that Nice Guy Phil isn't that bad, because if Nice Guy Phil was so nice, he would have brought these dudes back by now. And he clearly have them on their shit list. Because he notice Remedy ain't nowhere. The guys at Ori ain't nowhere. Cuphead, it took them like 6 years to release a DLC after they fucked over Xbox. Because remember, that game was supposed to be a lifetime exclusive.
Yeah, and that was a great game too.
Yeah. Cliffy B gave them their second biggest IP, and he's still like, nah, man, fuck that dude, right? So you know what? One point for me for defending Phil. I think he only nice in public. That's probably what it is.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I know, Dia. I know I come off as profane sometimes and wild, but I do know what I'm talking about. Part of the reason why a lot of these teams aren't coming back, Cliffy B's not coming back, and a lot of these former content creators for Xbox aren't coming back, is not just because they burnt the bridge. That may be part of it, but what I've noticed over the last, especially since 2017, that rough patch that Xbox had when they didn't have a whole lot of IPs, or more importantly, a lot of studios. What they did since then, Dia, and you know this for a fact, they built their own studios and put their own teams in play. 343 Studios, the Coalition, these guys called the Initiative. So
they bought Minecraft.
They now have their own teams in play. Like WWE has their own team in play. They don't need their old agents back there. They may keep one or two guys around, but for the most part, they've moved on. The Philadelphia tourism industry here in Philadelphia, it doesn't need E-Rock anymore, and I was one of their best dudes. I really don't have nothing new to bring to the table unless they want to do naked tours. There's nothing new I can bring to the table. They've got this shit covered, and so that's Xbox. What again? There's nothing new that Crytek or Cliffy B could bring to that table because they've already got the best people, and nobody knows more about 343 Studios than Outer Zinc.
Right.
Like,
No, that's correct.
yeah, nobody on earth knows more about that team or about the coalition. And I don't even know who the initiative is, but apparently these guys are supposed to be fantastic. So when you have your own teams in play there, you really don't need to revel in nostalgia or strip mine your past, something that Disney has not learned. But I don't feel bad for Cliffy B because Cliffy B should be a millionaire. He should be well off. And he don't need to go back to Microsoft. I don't even know why he's looking for work. But sometimes, man, when you burn bridges, you have to be careful because Sony may have been the market leader when he made Lawbreakers, but clearly now that Microsoft is throwing around billions of dollars to buy
money.
publishers, everybody wants back in.
I'm telling you, it's a pattern. And let me address with another thing because he followed up with that. Okay, I'm gonna read both. It's at 9:52 and the other one is at 9:53. Okay, he says the reason why I'm saying what I said about Cliffy is because he held his L. Okay, man up about it and then apologize publicly, which only a real man would do.
Respect.
Then he follows up saying, plus I believe in second chances with certain situations. Call me a softie. I do agree with second chances too, but you don't. That doesn't mean you have to have a working relationship, Peabody. At this point in time, would you take Cliffy B over the coalition?
No.
When they've been loyal, they've been faithful, they've been producing really good games.
Hold on, dear. I always have to give context. It's
okay.
Before E-Rock jumped down my throat and say, "Oh, he knows the 343. He knows the coalition." Hey, the thing was, they took that. This studio was making Shanghai Nights, and Phil Spencer bought Gears. Brought Rod Ferguson in. It's like, hey, I want you to man this team. So he took Shanghai, the people that, hey, you guys are going to make Gears. We ain't doing Shanghai Nights. Your game is some bullshit. We're going to make Gears. Rod Ferguson taught them how to make Gears and what it was to get the clicks right, to get everything right. And then you have the coalition. And then he left after he put his knowledge into what is the coalition today. And go ahead, dear. But it started right there. Now you go ahead and finish your thing.
Okay, so my point is that if he comes back, depending on what role he wants to take,
internal power struggle.
Exactly. There you go. Okay. It's going to mean somebody's going to lose some position, or it could cause unrest and stuff. Definitely based on how you describe this guy and his attitude.
How's he going to come back? We worked on Gears of War 4 and 5. How the hell is he going to come back in here? That's exactly what's going to happen.
The coalition have been doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
So would you even want to go through that? Is he worth that?
Correct.
Sometimes a person maybe a studio is not doing that great. But I don't think the coalition needs them.
Correct.
And I'm gonna be honest about that.
Here's our boy Gogo Poe. This is why I represent the chat. Gogo Poe at 8:48 p.m. And Gogo Poe is a great guy, but he sums it up pretty good here. And this is just another perspective.
Okay.
He says they're past their prime already. Gaming is one of those industries you leave and come back to, and come back to. A lot of devs,
left
things like this. When I kind of agree and I kind of don't agree, because your mind is still sharp, and when it's almost like I think. I want to say I'm not a developer, I'm not a programmer. I understand how it works. But the only reason I'm going to disagree with Gogo Poe is just a little bit. He may be right. This is a 50-50 thing. And I wanted to stop right there. Is some things are hard to come back to, like let's say a great coach or sometimes the talent does leave. Like, I can't play basketball the way I used to be able to play. I just can't go to the park, pick someone else like myself and 3 bums and run the court all day. I can't. I'm not that good anymore. But one thing you never forget how to do is to ride a bike. You can always ride a bike, but you still have those sharp ideas. So maybe he could come up with the ideas, but Gogo Paul, it's a 50-50 thing. That's why I wanted to go back to this comment here. And he said a lot here in this little paragraph. And, I'm a little indifferent. It's sometimes you could come back and be sharp. It's like Seamus Blackley. He created Xbox. He started this shit on a fucking napkin. And now we're here 23 years later, and we as Sega Man would say, we're eating good,
This shit would be overwhelming to him now if he came back.
What'd you say?
This shit would be overwhelming to him now if he came back.
Correct. That's why I agree with Gogo Poe, but then I sometimes I don't, because it's like here we go. That's what I was looking for. Steve Jobs, they got rid of him. They got rid of the guy that created Apple. And Apple started to fall apart. Then they brought him back. Apple got sharp again, and now we have Apple today. And I'm not even an Apple fan.
But is Gears falling apart?
Thank you.
No, Gears is not. And that's the 50-50 part, Unlimited. That's why I stopped right there, because there's so many facets to his small paragraph right there. I agree with him. It's a 50-50 thing. How do we know how sharp Cliff is? Now, just like E-Rock said, I love the Coalition. I love 343. I love Halo. But it's a 50-50 thing with me because I know where it came from. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But then I agree with him. He might not be sharp anymore. He may have lost his edge because he was an edgy guy back then. So maybe he's lost that powerful edge. It's one of those, and I always got to commend it in college, because this one professor said, just like, you know what? You never said, I don't know. And he said this in front of the class, and we all listening. He said, you may have been grossly wrong, but your theory, it almost made sense, but it was wrong. But you never said, I don't know. So you never came up empty. But this is one of those times where, hey, man, this is 50-50. I don't know.
Can I follow up with one thing and then I'll stop?
Go ahead.
Here's the problem I have with what Cliffy B did. He dictated where he would be placed. The only way I can see him coming back is if Microsoft has a spot, like maybe he can create a new IP or something, but he should not be saying, I want it just because he made Gears, that he goes with the Coalition and somehow that's where he's going to be placed. No, Microsoft should dictate.
And I agree with you there too, dear. And what I don't like about what he did, you bringing this public.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Why don't you talk to Phil about it? You have to know how to get to him, and that's why it's 50-50.
And it gives the impression that somehow the Coalition needs him. They don't.
Correct.
They've been doing okay on their own. So I don't like the way he handled it. Number one. Number two, if he was to come back, it would be better. And I think they could cohabitate together better if he was doing something different. Maybe he can work for Microsoft, but do something different. If Microsoft wants him and feels that he's needed, but they don't. They have. I'm telling you, I think Microsoft has a plan of who they want. They know who they want, because they said that if ABK didn't go through, they was gonna go right back to the plan they was already doing.
And let me jump on you one more time, dear. Gears, the Coalition is so successful. They help other studios.
Yep.
Right.
And to get them started, they got help to help Rod Ferguson get started. 343 helped the Coalition get Gears 4 out. Rare helped them. They had help from other studios, including Rod Ferguson, and now they've become a studio that they're helping the industry out. Epic came back to them and said, hey, help us make E-Rock's game that shows off Unreal Engine 5. You know it better than we know it, so help us. That's how powerful this group has become. That's what was so strong about Gogo Pole's comment, and I wanted to stop right there because he said a fucking enough. You know what I mean? That was a great comment, and that's why I like the chat so damn much. But go ahead, y'all.
You read my mind, Zeke. That's how up to speed with what's happening today. The coalition is, man, I'll never speak bad about them.
Me either.
They've shown technical prowess. They've
Yes.
shown that, okay, you want games that push the Xbox Series X, we can do that, but we want to give other developers the space and the anonymity to make a game like Ravenlock, or to make a game on Unreal Engine 4 like Redfall. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want more horsepower? It's coming. Team Ninja, it's coming. The initiative is coming. But Phil, I don't know a lot about Phil Spencer, but it seems like he's the kind of guy, he's not going to rattle his internal teams that are already in place.
Correct.
Those are his people. And so why would he? His people bring them a lot of success. So
Unlimited, keep that comment right there. Sisno Elite. Is that the one? Yep.
Yeah, right here.
Didn't a lot of the coalition come from Epic? And that's why they know Unreal so well? Correct. Along with the leader, because it was two leaders. It was Cliff and it was Rod Ferguson. And they are, just like 343 has damn 70% Bungie employees. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is the same thing, but still you have that leader, and that leader was either Cliff or Rod Ferguson, to head the ship. Now they a well-oiled machine now. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're all spot on. And but with that said, I think we're gonna call the night there.
Okay.
Absolutely excellent show, everybody. So but with that said, Other Zinc, give us your closing thoughts and give your final thoughts and your outro.
My final thoughts is, over a year ago, I knew this deal was going through. Everybody can kick, scream, cry, and complain. It's one thing to listen to somebody like Jez Gordon or Rand or somebody like that don't know shit. I knew what all of them. I knew what the regulators did over 30 years ago when I was in college. You don't have jurisdiction over the United States of America. You just don't.
Right.
They don't need you. Okay. So I knew this deal was going through. I represent the chat. Thank you guys for coming out. All my dogs pulling up in here. And y'all go ahead and we'll let Dia close this show.
Awesome stuff. E-Rock X, my big brother in the game, man. Give us your final thoughts and your outro.
Hey, it's always good to come in here to the Unlimited Truth podcast. And whenever the truth is needed, that's when the podcast will show up. But it was great to be here tonight and talk about these topics, man. And get a little riled up, and let off some steam, and really let some steam off. I know poor Dia was taken aback by the heavy use of profanity. But it's just been a week where it's just been so much nonsense, spewing about the interwebs and spewing about the media. And I think Tuck and myself just needed to let loose some steam, because we can't let loose some steam. Tuck, he's in the hospital. I mean, I'm around family, so I can't be letting off steam and cussing about something as ridiculous and innocuous about video games. But I be fuming quietly about some of the stuff I see and some of the headlines I see, because I'm wondering how these guys can get away with doing what they do and never be held to any sort of accountability, never be held to any accountability like I was. These guys just can print and write whatever they want and continue doing whatever they want. Dreamcast guy can sit there and make his weird twisted faces, and no one ever unsubscribes or calls this guy out. So tonight was just Tuck venting, because tonight was just us all venting, because in victory sometimes you need to vent, because this shouldn't have taken so long. This holdup was ridiculous. Out of Zinc, as Sega Man calls it, was right a year ago, and everybody else was wrong. These business majors, they called it a while ago, and even some of us nincompoops like myself said, "How are you going to stop this merger between these trillion-dollar entities?" But now it's over. We can move on. We can get back to gaming like you guys have been doing. We can enjoy Redfall. We can get back to gaming. And as always, man, it's great to be here. Xbox is the best box, and as always, bye-bye.
Awesome stuff. And last but not least, Daya 4568. Give us your final thoughts and your outro.
Okay, I am Dia4568, and I'm usually in the chat, sometimes in the podcast of our group. And I just want to say that I'm really proud of the chat, especially today. You guys were fantastic. And really makes me wish I could type a bit more, but I have to focus on what it is I'm going to talk about and reflect on, making sure I get things right when I speak. But I mean, our best days are ahead of us, guys, and I don't need to go too hard to just uplift you guys this time. We just went through 2 weeks of hell. 2 weeks of hell, okay? And it was manufactured because they know Microsoft is unstoppable. It's a train that's coming down this track, and they're putting logs and they're putting trees in front of it, but it's blasting through it, and it's nothing that's going to stop it.
She said logs
Okay.
and trees.
So this is what I see, and you're going to see this too at the showcase. I almost guarantee that's where you're going to truly understand what Microsoft is doing, and understand this, that they're going to fight it, but Sony is in some deep trouble. Microsoft is on good footing, and you're seeing the very best of Microsoft right now in what they're doing with the ABK deal and how their brand is growing, how valuable it is. So I just wanted to leave this with you. And guys in chat, keep up the good work. I am so proud of you guys. You make me so proud. And I know that this group of people are educated. You guys know what you're talking about. Some of you have experience in gaming. Some of you have gamed for a long time. Others have kept up with the news, so you know it inside out. This is what I love about you guys. And most importantly, those of you who are Xbox fans, even if you play on PC or Nintendo or even PlayStation 2, the fact that your preferred area to play is Xbox, that you love Xbox and that you want to see it grow. This is the most important thing, because this console and the people that's working hard on our behalf needs our support. And just keep it up, guys. Keep up bringing up the truth in the information, and keep fighting, because that's what Xbox fans do.
Excellent stuff,
Wow.
Dea. So with that, we're going to call it a night. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week and the weekend, and we will be back next time the truth is needed. All right, everyone, have a good one, and we are out.